everyone, it's Julia. I received some fun happy mail, a couple different packages the last couple weeks, and I wanted to just create something using some of the items in that happy mail. I got this little clipboard die cut and then some 2.5 inch strips in a different coordinating prints, or it was a collection, and then also this Tim Holtz fabric. I just absolutely love it. And it is, I will link it down below if I can find it. And all my supplies will be down below. And I got this wonderful tatting. This is from a viewer. It was made by her grandma in the 1940s. And it is just beautiful. So let's get started here. I decided to make a bag. And I have my pieces cut at 10 inches high and 12 inches wide. I had a gal come into my flea market shop with a bag similar to this, and I just love the size and the look of it, and I thought, well, I'm going to create one of those. I'm just spraying the back of those strips with a basting spray, and I'm going to be adding this piece to the bottom. It almost looks like pillow ticking. I just love it, just like a blue and white stripe. I will be adding a little piece of denim to this bag too, and it really tied it together well. I'm just going to go to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to just with a 1/4 inch strip just sew that, or stitching line. I have that all pressed now, and I wanted to add interfacing to the back just to give it some more stability. And this is a sew-in interfacing that I had picked up at a garage sale. And so I again sprayed the back of that with my temporary basting spray and just smoothing that out, and doing the same to both the front and the back. And then I am going to be also adding some batting. This is just a warm and natural batting, doing the same thing, just spraying it with that temporary basting spray. And now I have my sandwich. I'm going to be taking this to my sewing machine now, and I want to meander stitch this and quilt it so it has a quilted look to it. And again, I am just meander stitching this. I do have my feed dogs dropped, and I do have my free motion foot on. Now for the bottom of that, as you can see, I am just following the lines and just making lines at the bottom. You can really see that quilting on the back side of this. Now to create this little clipboard, this is just going to be a little embellishment that I'm going to have on the front of it. These are movers and shakers, which I don't really understand, but I did have this one die that I was able to stick that, it's a magnet, I was able to stick that to it. And I put cork on the top, and this is fabric cork, so it has that knit backing to it. My die did stick right at the edges, and I just have to clip that just a little bit, but I love how it turned out. It just looks like a clipboard. So I've got that piece done, and here's where I added that little piece of denim. I'm just going to have that as the base of my clipboard. Just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do there, and I decided I'm going to stamp this with a butterfly stamp. And I'm using my Ranger ink. This is a waterproof ink, and I'm using the Espresso Brown, which is a dark brown. I love this 4-pack, and again, I'll link everything down below because there's 4 different neutral colors in there. There's black and there's gray and 2 different shades of brown. And again, it is a permanent ink, so it's wonderful for fabric projects. And I'm just going to lay this out now. Again, spraying the back of it with my temporary spray. And then just creating this clipboard. And just going to be stitching this with my straight stitch. And here's where I add just a little piece of this tatting. I'm going to just kind of hoard this tatting because it's so delicate, and it's such a lost art. I mean, I've tried it, and I know there's needle type tatting as well, but this is a shuttle tatting, and it's just so gorgeous. I have my lining pieces cut the same, which is 10 inches high, but 12 inches wide, and I want to add an inside pillow. out of that same butterfly fabric. I have turned under the edges on this pocket, and I have stitched the top of it already. Just going to pin this into place, and then we'll be stitching this. And I do back stitch on both the beginning and the end on any pocket, because that is a stress point. It's on to adding one magnetic snap to the top of this. And this is in a four part. It has the washer and has two different parts to this magnetic snap. Really easy way to just add a closure to the top of a bag. Now this customer that came into my shop, there was no closure on hers. Hers was more of a tote, but it wasn't crossbody like I am going to create with this. But I thought just one magnetic snap on the top is just kind of nice to have. Just making everything even there and getting both sides of that snap into place. And then I'm going to be stitching all the way around, both on the outer and then on my lining. And I do leave a space on my lining fabric of about 5 inches, because that is what I am going to be turning this through. I did box the corners on both the outer and the lining, and I just took like a 1-inch box. I didn't have a lot of fabric to work with, but I wanted it to have a boxed bottom to it. Showing how I'm creating those straps now, just joining a couple more of these strips. And I do join it in an L shape and miter that. Just helps eliminate bulk and just looks really fun too. Clipping that extra right away now and then just pressing that seam open. I'm folding this just with right sides together in a long strip and stitched it. And then using my fast turners to turn that strap. And then we'll be ironing this and pressing it nice and flat, rolling the seams, and then we'll be top stitching on both sides of this strap. Strap is done. I'm just going to get it into place there and just placing it over the side seams of that outer bag. Now it's to get the lining attached to the outer bag, and just going to be slipping that bag right inside that lining. So my right sides are together now. Making sure that my straps are in there. And then matching up the side seams. And then we'll be stitching all the way around the top of this bag. And then turning that through that opening of the lining. Closing that lining, and I'm just going to press this opening shut, and then we'll be taking it to my sewing machine and stitching that. Getting that lining into place. And I do want to top stitch this now. And I do top stitch this from the inside and just stitch in the ditch, getting it nice and crisp there with my iron. And we'll be stitching that into place. And here's the finished little bag. This was so much fun. It's always a challenge when you just have a certain amount of things and you just want to create with it. And I added some pictures at the end here. Thank you so much, everybody who's joined me today. I hope you have a creative week. Bye for now.